Hello, beloved souls of the South Freeport Congregational Church. I come to you on this Wednesday, October the 20th, for this time of pause in your day and in your week to have a moment of reflection as we think about the presence of God that is with each one of us. And so wherever you are, I invite you to just use this moment for a moment of pause in your day. And I invite you to take a deep breath with me and let it out. And just be aware of the calming presence of God that is with each one of us. Today I'm recording from a not so exciting location as I'm coming to you from another hotel room. And this week I am down in central Massachusetts. Today I'm coming to you from Springfield, Mass. It's a far different location than the Amtrak train that Brandon and I were on last week for last week's devotional. Well, many of you know that I grew up down in Alabama, and I grew up in a very rural part of the state. And when I was growing up, the only other traditions of faith that I really knew were either Southern Baptist, Methodist, or the Church of Christ. I didn't have any friends that I knew that were Catholic. I didn't know anything about the Catholic faith. The only introduction that I ever had to Catholicism was watching a movie in which you might hear a priest say to someone, "Go home and say 10 Hail Marys." I have a confession for you. I really thought that the person was supposed to go home and just say, "Hail Mary, Hail Mary, Hail Mary, Hail Mary, Hail Mary" for 10 times. And I often thought, what's the point of that? What does just saying Hail Mary 10 times, what was that supposed to do? Excuse me. It wouldn't be until I was in my mid-20s and I left Alabama and I moved to Texas that I began to have other friends and be introduced to other faith traditions as well as other prayers. And it was a friend of mine in Texas that taught me what the Hail Mary was. And that beautiful prayer of Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou amongst women, and blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus. It was only then that I also came to realize that the Hail Mary is rooted in Luke chapter 1. If you read Luke chapter 1, you have the story of where the angel Gabriel come and visits Mary. And he is telling her about the child that she is to have, the Messiah that she is carrying. And it is in that passage that we hear Gabriel, that we read of Gabriel saying, "Mary, blessed art thou amongst women, and blessed is the fruit of thy womb." And so that is the basis of the Hail Mary. Well, not being Catholic, I do find the Hail Mary to be very comforting. And there are times when I'm traveling, when I'm in the airport and my flight's delayed, or I'm traveling on the road and there's heavy traffic, there are times where I will say the Hail Mary. So I will say the Hail Mary, I will say the Lord's Prayer, because I find that each one of those offer me a moment of stillness, a moment of comfort wherever I am. I'm curious to hear from you, what are those prayers or what are those creeds that you recite that bring you peace and comfort in moments of stress and anxiety? Some of you may come from traditions of faith where creeds were very important. I'd really love to hear from you about what are some of those other prayers that you say or creeds that you say that help bring you a moment of peace. You've probably heard me say before that there are times in our lives where we may not know exactly what to pray. And it is in those moments where I go to the Lord's Prayer. I go to that prayer that Jesus taught us. And so this morning, wherever you are, whether it's in the morning, in the middle of the day, or at the close of the day, I invite you to join me in saying the Lord's Prayer. And I invite you to be intentional, to think about the words. I invite you to imagine hearing Jesus say this prayer for the very first time. And so using the words of trespasses, I invite you to join me now. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever and ever. Amen. Blessings to you on your day. Blessings to you in your prayers and creeds that help bring you into the presence of God wherever you are. And until we meet again, God keep you and Godspeed. Amen.